On May 5th, we had a draw last time around. Max, what's going to be different this time?
Well, they know each other. You saw Canelo, the first three and last three rounds were his best rounds. And generally, in a rematch between a guy who comes forward and may be technical, but is really the aggressor and has always been able to win his way, versus a counterpuncher who's more versatile and has had 12 rounds to study his opponent, usually the counterpuncher has the advantage in the rematch, the more versatile boxer.
Okay, so who was the counterpuncher? Now, Canelo was doing a lot of moving. And in my opinion, if he were to up his punch output while sustaining that same movement that he did in the first fight, then he can open himself up to possibly being knocked out by Golovkin. I'm going to go ahead and say it in my opinion, which I'm entitled to, right? This is America, and America is becoming great again. I'm entitled to my opinion, and my opinion is that Golovkin won the first fight, but however, I have no issues with the draw. I can also see how people say Canelo won the fight, but let's be realistic. If Golovkin were to fight round 13, the beginning round 1 on of the second fight, not fearing Canelo's power like he did during those last several rounds, then Canelo's going to be in for a tougher fight. Canelo is smaller. Canelo's power seeming, to have not really carried up. Now, this is just this one full fight at 160 pounds. I just feel that Golovkin has more to bring to the table in the rematch. For example, starting earlier and investing in the body. Canelo had to show defensive excellence and a lot of moving in that fight. Truth be told, if you really look at it from a statistical and strategic standpoint, then the only adjustments that Golovkin has to make are few. This is from yesterday. Right now it's January the 31st, 2018, 10:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live, the owner and editor-in-chief of FightView360.com.
Boxer has the advantage in the rematch. Now, I thought that the good scores in that first fight would be anywhere from 6-6 a draw to 8-4 for Golovkin in rounds. There were no two-point rounds, no knockdowns or deductions or anything like that. So 6-6, 7-5 for Golovkin or 8-4 for Golovkin, all would have been okay. And a draw was kind of unlikely for Canelo, but he got it. But going into the rematch, I think that however you thought Canelo would do in the first fight, you have to be more optimistic about his chances in the rematch.
I mean, and that's his opinion. Obviously, Max Kellerman, big Golovkin supporter. He always has been. But, and of course, since it is ESPN, he does work on HBO. But let's talk about like many things involving the fight so far. It has been announced May the 5th, 2018. As it stands right now on January the 31st, no venue has yet to be announced. It's looking like the news is coming out that it's going to be Vegas that's going to get the fight again, even though New York is in the running. It's going to be on pay-per-view, $74.99 for HD. Get used to it. We are going to be covering the fight in some type of capacity. Me personally, I'm not going. I just can't do it anymore. As you can see, or you haven't, for the people who've been around, know that it's better for me to cover the fight from home and try to send somebody to the fight, which we're already putting our foot down. As far as YouTube is concerned, as you can see, the channel is back on track. So in regards to the channel being the top 3, 4, 5, post-fight reviewers on the internet, it's no reason why by the time May the 5th comes around, we shouldn't have our foot in the door. But that's a whole different political thing. The point is, we're trying to cover the fight for you guys, We don't make any money off of this. We're putting money into this. Things are finally starting to turn to where we're starting them to make a profit. But all this stuff costs money, And our job is to provide coverage for not only you, for the people in the UK and all over the world. But anyway, moving on. The first fight was rumored to do 1.3 million pay-per-view buys. That's 1.3 million households. Now, in my opinion, as I said in previous videos, that's an excellent number considering all the streaming and everything that's going on right now. But what has to be done for the second fight is more social media, more promotion, and a better overall presentation of the fight. Like, bring back the old days of HBO 24/7 where we get those 3 episodes before the fight. We would get the 3 episodes. We would get the HBO face off. This one didn't have a face off, And I'm guessing because the language barrier or whatever, they got to go back to the old days, show that you still got it. And even if you don't do HBO 24/7, fuck that. Do HBO 24/7, They got to put more promotion behind this. Now, expect a major media tour to be coming up soon, where they're going to hit New York. And of course, I'm going to be there, where they're going to hit Los Angeles, probably Mexico, Texas, or something like that. They're going to do the rounds on ESPN, on Yahoo, on CBS. You're going to see them on TMZ. You're going to see them making the rounds, doing a promotion. It's only a matter of time before Mayweather does another stunt like he did. Did y'all see it? Let me pull this up for those who didn't see it. I'm sure it's probably got around by now and had to, but Mayweather seems to can't keep out of the spotlight. And basically what he did was, here it is right here. This guy, man. This guy. So Canelo versus Golovkin 2 was announced on the 29th. He does that on the 30th. We know he's not going to the UFC, and that's all I'm going to say about that. We could have Lucas Matisse on the undercard of Canelo versus Golovkin 2, or Gary Russell and Jojo Diaz if Gary Russell hurries up and gets a fight, so he'll be able to fight again in May. But truth be told, it may not even be likely now with, this going on. Now, I want you to listen to this, what Max Kellerman is going to say. And also, Stephen A. Smith, see, it's like this. I just don't like when Stephen A. Smith be getting all obnoxious, man. It just be burning me up, Just be burning me up.
I am more optimistic about his chances in a rematch, Max, and I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with any of your points, but my point to me is the biggest reason why I would go with Canelo in a rematch. I saw a Triple G who couldn't find him much too often. It was incredible how much slower he looked than Canelo in the first fight. If
Canelo is the naturally smaller fighter coming from a smaller weight class, though, so you would think that Canelo going into the fight, I already thought that Canelo would be faster than Golovkin. I already kind of assumed that Canelo would have to use movement and not stay off the ropes. The reason why we remember when he fought guys like Liam Smith, Austin Trout, he had issues in the middle of the fight where he would just chill on the ropes too long. With Golovkin, he couldn't do that, so that was a good strategy to keep moving, so yeah, Golovkin was having issues finding him, but by default, Canelo coming from such smaller weight classes. What was the lowest Canelo ever fought? Like 140 or some shit? 135? Let's go look at it right now before we
if Triple G had been able to catch Canelo.
Damn it. Before we listen to him, let's go look at what's the smallest weight class he ever fought at. 140. 140. So you would think, that he would be naturally the faster guy, and does have the faster reflexes compared to a guy like Golovkin. Golovkin has never fought at 154, if I'm correct. Wait, my bad. He's never fought at 154, if I'm correct. Always at 160. And a few fights where he fought above the 160-pound limit. So this is a guy that could potentially fight at 175. You may say Canelo probably could too, but you would think that, Canelo is the naturally just faster fighter, Let's go back to listen to what he was saying again.
With some of those punches, I don't think it would have gone the distance. And Canelo is one hell of a fighter who can take a punch. He is the real deal. But his speed and his ability to be evasive shocked me to death. And that is why I would give him the edge against Triple G in a rematch. He's just faster than me, not just offensively, but defensively. That's my issue.
Yeah, Triple G is going to have to really, his trainer Abel Sanchez calls it Mexican style, but Triple G still has a lot of Eastern European kind of more straight up long distance stuff. He's going to really have to get into Mexican style, which means pin your guy on the ropes and don't let him off, Triple G, if he wants to score a stoppage.
Canelo hasn't.
My bad. I just thought I saw a spider descending on me. What the hell was that? Anyway, my bad. Yeah, Canelo was faster. Golovkin has shown that he does have great boxing ability, meaning, he's got the jab, he's got the punch variety, as we talked about earlier. Golovkin was having some issues earlier in the fight with, I guess, respecting Canelo's power a little too much, to where later on, as we saw, he just started walking through his punches. The question I want, to ask, and now that we have February, March, April, 3 months, 4 months into the fight, 3 months until things really, really start gearing up. We're going to be doing a lot of videos on this. So we really want to talk about and get really deep into the nitty gritty. And I expect to do some film studies, likely not on YouTube, but on Twitch or another platform where we can, actually talk about everything and actually go back and watch past Canelo fights and past Golovkin fights and really analyze the situation, with both fighters. For those who don't know, right now it's supposed to be the WBA, the Ring, and the IBF titles on the line. We don't know if Canelo is going to squash his beef with the WBC and have that title on the line as well. We don't obviously know what the fighters are making. We don't know if there's going to be some type of another rematch deal. Somebody needs to ask that. If there's like some type of another rematch type deal for Canelo, if Canelo loses, since the first fight was a draw. Many people are expecting for them to do a trilogy. And truth be told, if this fight, depending on how the winner, wins this fight, and how the fight turns out, I wouldn't mind a trilogy. So expect all that to be the things that people are going to be talking about for the build up to the fight and everything like that. But we're looking for help here at FightView360.com. We need writers, we need graphic designers, we need people who want to, even if you want to be the person that does, updates on the website, written updates, we're looking for people anywhere, everywhere. We have a budget, we have financing, we have all that stuff. The website is has ads on it. We have, YouTube partner. We have sponsors, affiliates. We're working with other websites overseas. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. If you're interested in helping out in any way, shape, or form, our contact information is right down below in the description box. You got to leave your name, your location, and obviously a bit about yourself and your work schedule, because a lot of these media events, majority take place in the daytime, considering your time zone. Please follow us on social media at FightView360.com. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live.